Moshi Moshi Yamamoto-san.
Remember this moment from Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara? We were all just as confused about what this guy actually did for a living. Well, he was an investment banker. Someone who's part of a high stakes industry working around the clock and making fat paychecks at the same time. Now, whenever we hear words like investment or finance, our brain immediately jumps to stock trading, buying shares, or playing the market. But if that's what you think investment banking is, you're totally wrong. Investment banking is more about a diverse set of finance skills, including corporate finance, mergers and acquisitions, developing financial models to evaluate debts and equity, analyzing risk, raising capital, and so on. Okay, for now, this must be sounding like a lot, but don't worry, by the time I will be done explaining roles and responsibilities of an investment banker and the skills you need to learn to become one, you will be all ready to make a move into investment banking industry where on an average professionals are earning salary of 29 lakh rupees. This is a no BS investment banker roadmap for 2025. Plus, I'll share some free learning resources that will help you get a head start on your career. So, what is investment banking? A normal bank gives loans and accepts deposits, but an investment bank helps companies raise money. That's it. Imagine a company wants to grow, maybe open a new branch, expand to another country, or buy another company. They need funds, but where will they get this money from? That's where investment banks come in. They act as a middleman and help the company get funds from the public or private investors. Generally, a company has two options: either it can take a loan or it can offer equity. Now, if it chooses to take the loan, it can either borrow money from a bank where interest rates are usually quite high, or it can raise money from the public by issuing bonds. Now, bonds are basically a type of loan that you, as an investor, give to a company or the government, and in return, they pay you interest. Compared to traditional bank loans, the terms and interest rates on bonds are usually a bit more relaxed. The second option is equity, where the company offers a portion of ownership to private investors in exchange for capital. You can think of it like Shark Tank, where investors get a share of the company in return for their investment. But once a company becomes mature, has a strong brand, and a proven business model, it can choose to go public through an IPO. That is an initial public offering. That's when anyone from the public can invest in the company and buy its shares. And just like that, the company raises capital directly from the public markets. Now, what do the investment banks get in return? Huge commissions. So, as an investment banker, your main task will include creating financial models in Excel, valuation of companies, making pitch books for clients, supporting big transactions like IPOs and M&As, that is the mergers and acquisitions. Now, to enter this field, you usually need some background in finance. There are full-time MBA programs in investment banking that will get you ready for this role over 2 to 3 years. On the other hand, if you're a working professional, you might not need an MBA degree. Just having PGDM credentials and understanding of capital markets or financial instruments would be a good enough job to get. Later in this video, I'll talk about one such industry-relevant course by IM Ranchi, so stay tuned. So now that we understood what investment banking is all about, let's break down the exact 6-step roadmap. So step 1 is to build foundational knowledge, which includes two core areas, economics and accounting. These are the pillars of financial understanding, and together they shape how you interpret money, markets and businesses. First, let's look at economics. This is where you begin to understand how markets, businesses and people make decisions with money. Within this field, microeconomics focuses on individual choices. For example, why a coffee shop might raise its prices when it's crowded. On the other hand, macroeconomics zooms out to examine large-scale economic factors like inflation, interest rates, and GDP. Once you've grasped these core ideas, you can move into econometrics, where mathematics and statistics come together to make sense of economic data. For example, you might use historical GDP data and consumer behavior to forecast economic growth for the next quarter. Another important area is financial economics, which focuses on how money flows through markets. After economics, the next key building block is accounting, which is also called the language of business. Accounting is all about measuring, analyzing, and reporting financial information, and it plays a central role in every organization. First comes financial accounting, which involves preparing financial statements like balance sheets, income statements, and cash flow statements. These are the documents that are shared with external stakeholders such as investors. Then there's managerial accounting, which focuses more on internal decision making. Cost accounting goes a step further by analyzing the actual cost of producing goods and services. You'll also come across auditing, which is a process that verifies the accuracy of financial records. It plays a critical role in maintaining trust with stakeholders and ensuring transparency. So, if you're interested in the investigative side of finance, forensic accounting is also about detecting fraud and financial misconduct. Lastly, accounting information systems combine technology and finance, allowing companies to manage their financial data more efficiently. From cloud based ledgers to real time financial dashboards, this area is increasingly important in today's tech driven business world. So, while you don't need to become an expert in every single one of these areas right away, having an understanding of both economics and accounting is absolutely essential. Now that you've got your fundamental skills, it's time to transition from just understanding finance to working with it. Start with corporate finance. It's all about managing a company's capital. That means figuring out how to raise money and how to invest it wisely. Equally important is risk management. Markets are volatile and companies are constantly exposed to risks like currency fluctuations, credit defaults, and global economic shifts. As a banker, you need to understand how to identify those risks, measure them, and recommend ways to mitigate them. Once you're comfortable with these financial concepts, the next step is to dive into financial modeling, which is a must have skill in any investment banking role. It all starts with Excel. And no, we're not talking about just sum and VLOOKUP. You will need to master advanced Excel functions, learn how to link financial statements, build dynamic models, and run different scenarios to test how a business might perform under various conditions. From there, you move into DCF, that is discounted cash flow analysis. Investment bankers spend a lot of time trying to determine what companies are worth, and there are two main approaches. The first is relative valuation, where you compare a company to similar ones using metrics like price to earnings ratio. The second is intrinsic valuation, which is more detailed and focuses entirely on a company's own fundamentals. After looking at all the important technical skills, it's time to see how they're used, which brings us to a step 3, core functions of investment banking. First is financial statement analysis, the starting point of almost every transaction or recommendation. As an investment banker, you need to be able to read, interpret, and draw insights from a company's financial statements. The income statement helps you determine if a company is generating profits or operating at a loss. And then there's the cash flow statement, which shows how money is actually moving in and out of the business. Next comes one of the most exciting and complex areas of investment banking, that is mergers and acquisitions, or M&A. This is where companies buy, sell, or merge with other companies. Another crucial function is working with the equity capital markets, that is ECM. This area focuses on helping companies raise funds by issuing shares. Whether it's through an initial public offering (IPO), a follow on offering, or a private placement, ECM professionals guide companies through the entire process. Now, if you understand these processes deeply and can add real insight and value at each stage, you can easily stand out. Knowing how to analyze numbers is important, but in investment banking, it's just as important to understand the world around you. So, coming to step 4 is industry knowledge. This means keeping track of industries, markets, and how big economic changes affect your clients. You need to know about debt capital markets, or DCM. This is the part of investment banking where you help companies raise money by borrowing, usually through bonds or big loans shared by several banks called syndicated loans. Next, we have sector specialization. Most investment banks divide their teams by industry, like technology, healthcare, or energy. When you focus on one specific sector, you learn all the small details that make that industry unique. This helps you give better advice to clients and makes you more valuable to the team. And finally, you need to stay aware of market trends and economic changes. These include things like inflation rates, interest rate decisions by central banks, new government policies, or even global events like oil price shifts. And most importantly, stay updated. Start following reports from trusted sources like McKinsey, IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, or the World Bank. Coming to step 5, soft skills and career development. In investment banking, you'll be a part of a team, often collaborating with analysts, associates, and even clients. That's why it's important to be able to explain your ideas clearly, both in writing and speech. Good communication builds trust and helps you get things done faster and better. You also need to understand corporate governance. This means knowing how to make ethical decisions, respect shareholder rights, and follow all the rules and regulations. Then comes problem solving and strategic thinking. You'll often face situations where you have to make quick decisions under pressure. And then, obviously, a strong resume and good networking can make a big difference. Talk to people in the industry, attend events, and don't be afraid to reach out on platforms like LinkedIn. Finally, you need to prepare well for your interviews. You should be ready to walk through a DCF model or explain how a merger works and do it clearly under 2 minutes. You can use techniques like CAR and STAR to answer such questions effectively. Now that you have your resume and you're building your network, it's time to look into advanced topics, and this is the final step in the roadmap. Start with restructuring. This includes understanding things like distressed investing or creditor negotiations, which shows you can think strategically even when a company is in survival mode. You'll also need to understand how private equity funds are structured, how returns are shared, and how deals are financed using a method called leveraged buyouts or LBOs. Then there's hedge funds. If you work in this space, you'll need to know how to build and manage a portfolio of investments that balance risk and reward. Even if you're not planning to work in private equity or hedge funds right away, having a basic understanding of how these firms operate can make a huge difference. It shows that you're thinking beyond just entry level work, and it can open more doors for your career down the road. And as promised, to help you with your preparation, I've added a free asset by Intellipaat that will help you with your journey into investment banking. This course includes valuable inputs from top experts working at leading firms like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, giving you insights straight from the industry itself. In addition to that, I've also included a certification course from IIM Ranchi. IIM Ranchi, being an institute of national importance, is well known for its academic excellence and industry aligned curriculum, making it a perfect place to start or advance your career in investment banking. What makes this course truly stand out is the comprehensive learning experience it offers. You get one on one mentorship to guide you through the process, real life case studies that help you understand the practical side of things, and 24/7 support in case you get stuck. The sessions are live and interactive, conducted by the IM faculty themselves, and the projects you'll work on are hands on, designed to build actual applicable skills rather than just theory. The faculty you'll be learning from come with strong backgrounds in investment banking and finance, and they bring with them a minimum of 10 years of industry experience, ensuring that you're learning from true experts in the field. Plus, you'll gain an alumni status of IIM Ranchi, a 3-day campus immersion, and exclusive networking opportunities. And here's the best part, you can enroll for this program without the CAT exam. I have provided the link in the description. Do check it out and begin your journey right away. And you can also find a detailed roadmap in the description. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you and see you in the next video.